Hi there, welcome to my Sit and Go video. My name is Rick Brady and I'll be your host for the Secrets of Winning Sit and Go Tournaments on video. This video is intended for beginners to intermediate players of Texas Hold'em poker and those who are interested in profiting and winning at Sit and Go tournaments. More advanced players may also find a few tips and techniques that may be of interest. So, a little bit about this video. The video is really going to focus on foundational strategies and elements that you need to be familiar with in order to win Sit and Go tournaments. In case you're not sure what a Sit and Go tournament is, it's basically like being at the final table in a Texas Hold'em poker tournament. And we start off on the final table in like a single table or even a multi-table, 2 or 3 table tournament. And the goal is to get down into that final 2 or 3 or 4 and to end up in the money. Of course, the ultimate goal is to win the tournament. We're going to see actual tournament scenarios here where we're playing in Sit and Go tournaments so we can see the exact action that's happening, and I'll be making comments as we go through and we look at what's occurring in the game and how we should be thinking and reacting to the situations that occur. I'm also going to talk about the X Factor method that I developed as a system that makes it simpler for players playing in Sit and Go tournaments to properly manage their chip stacks and react properly in the different kinds of situations you'll find yourself in. And finally, we'll see some useful tools and websites that I've prepared for you that will also help you with your game and to boost your skills. So this is a first in a series of these how-to videos that I will be going into various aspects of Texas Hold'em and Sit and Go tournaments, regular tournaments, and ultimately as well as cash games. This video is brought to you by my Secrets of Winning Sit and Go Tournaments ebook. Incidentally, you may or may not be familiar with my product that I released originally in 2004 called Poker Sidekick. Poker Sidekick, if you're a beginner new to the game, actually will teach you the starting hands. It will teach you strategy, basic elements of how to play the game, and teach you the odds of the game and things that you really need to know to properly approach the Texas Hold'em game. What it does is it monitors your play online in real time, and it gives you this kind of feedback as a poker odds calculator and an expert system and consultant right there on the screen with you. So if you're at the beginner intermediate level and you haven't seen Poker Sidekick, I'd recommend that you have a look at that at royalflushclub.com. My Sit and Go Secrets ebook is used by thousands of people worldwide today to win and profit from Sit and Go tournaments. And parts of this video will be based on the ebook, but the ebook goes into lots of detail that we won't have time to cover here today. So if you're really interested in winning and profiting, I recommend you check that out. It's also at royalflushclub.com. There's a few other websites that I've prepared for you. BetterHoldem.com is a free articles and information website where you'll find all kinds of information and other products and things you can access to boost your game. And finally, PokerTester.com is a new site that I'll be launching in Q1 of 2007. There's an early version of it out there if you want to see it now. PokerTester.com provides a free Texas Hold'em poker test where you can go test your skills. Basically, you answer 25 questions that test 8 different areas of your poker skills, and it'll show you where your knowledge level is good, where your situational analysis in the game is good, and where you've got gaps that you need to work on and fill in order to get better. So if you haven't been there yet or been there lately, check out PokerTester.com. So what we're going to do is go through and analyze a number of different stages of winning Sit and Go tournaments here. It starts with the early stage, and this, is all about getting you started in the game right, getting a feel for the table and the action and the players, starting to understand what type of players you have at your table, and kind of getting your feet on the ground in that tournament. As you progress and a few players start dropping out, you'll end up with 5 or 6 players, and at this stage things get fairly intense, and it becomes sort of a survival of the fittest is the way I like to think of it. So there's certain things we need to do differently in the middle stage in order to survive to the next stage, which is making it into the money. That's where we actually profit by being in the last 3 or 4 remaining at the table, depending on how many tables there are, and you make it into the money. So, if you in a single table tournament, you want to be in the top 3 to be in the money. Of course, ultimately, where you really want to end up is in a heads-up match, so you come in first or second, and obviously, we all want to come in first place. So we'll go through this in several stages. We'll talk about the early game and how to get started right, surviving that middle game shakeout, how to make it into the money into that late stage we talked about, and then how to play heads up in order to win it all. Ultimately, what we want to do at a heads up match is end up being the champion, because the champion walks away with most of the money, and it feels really good to win a tournament. So that's what we'll strive to do. And we're gonna actually do that, and we're gonna watch me doing this online, playing in actual tournament scenarios here. So it's tournament time. Let's sit back, relax, and let's actually go on to the tables. We're going to begin by getting started right with some tournament table action. Welcome to the tournament table. Today we are at a PokerStars tournament table that is a sit-and-go single table tournament with 10 players. And this was a $10 buy-in. I thought it was a common enough level that we would just start there. Now, you know, what I'm going to do is narrate as we go through here. As you can see here, I'm the poker professor over here on the bottom right side, and ID is PokerProf007. What we're going to do is I'm going to narrate through the game as we examine various aspects of this early game period. Now, I'm not going to bore you with every aspect of the game that I ended up playing, but what I do want to do is show you this cut down version that I've edited down a little bit here, and we'll look at a number of key elements of the game as we progress. At this stage of the game, what I'm typically doing is just watching the other players, getting a sense for how they're playing. Are they playing really crazy? Are they playing rather solid poker, you know, somewhat extra tight? How are they actually playing and carrying on? And it's a good idea to get a sense for who's at your table and what you're up against, and do that fairly early on in the tournament. And you know, at this stage, I'm not in the hand. What I'm doing is I'm watching these other players, and I'm going to watch how many hands they play. I'm going to watch. See, this guy immediately folded. The bad bait guy just folds as soon as a big bet comes at him. So just stick that little piece of information away, and we'll keep watching. Now, you know, 8-2, I don't think I'm going to play that kind of a starting hand, but I will go ahead and check it. Since I'm in the blind, I'll stay in and see what happens, but that's certainly not a starting hand I'm going to start out with. So what we're going to do is tend to play much more tight up front, but when we do play a hand, we're going to play it aggressively. So we're going to go ahead and fold this 8-2. This is not a hand we want to be in on. I'd like to play group 1 hands early on in the tournament, but then occasionally play a surprise hand and mix things up. Blinds are low. We can afford to take some chances. There's very little risk, you know, unless we get kind of crazy and carried away and just, you know, going all in or over betting this early in the tournament. Good. Ace-Jack offsuit. Not a tremendous hand. It's probably a group 2 hand, but a group 2 starting hand is fine. I'm in the blind. You know, why not see the flop and see what happens in any event, right? I'm going to go ahead and just, at this point, you know, I'm actually going to go ahead and raise it, because why not? You got a good strong starting hand, and I might just chase everybody out right away, and that'll be fine. I think that's what happens, yeah. When you bet strong from the blind or generally anywhere, you're going to have a tendency to drive people out of the pot. And if you just call and you sit there and check and call and check and call, that's such weak play. You know, you often see that with beginners. It's not the way you want to play this game.